Hey guys, what's going on? Perky and Oscar here. What's up, Oscar?
What's up, Jonathan? What's up, One League to rule them all? So excited to be back with you talking about some fantasy football, and there's been a lot going on. It's great.
Dude, come on. This has become like a real high point of my week since I've been working remotely so much and I haven't gotten to be around everybody talking about fantasy football. So.
Yeah, it's been, we've missed you up here at the offices, but thankfully we still get to do this and we still get to talk fantasy football. So that's great.
Yeah, man. And man, it was a good weekend. What can I get into? I don't think we have anything in particular for the league to address. We kind of talked about the COVID spots last week. That seemed to go good.
Just in addressing that, there may be, the Tennessee Titans came down with some COVID players. And so depending on what happens, some of you guys with Tennessee Titans players may need to use those two COVID spots that you got on your IR spot. So we don't know what's going to happen yet. Supposedly they're still going to play on Sunday, possibly move to Monday. So just be paying attention, especially if you've got Titans or Steelers players. They may be out because of COVID. So
well, and Minnesota too.
Minnesota,
the Minnesota right. And who are they playing?
I'm not sure who it was.
Yeah. So it affects those two games because it was Tennessee and Minnesota this week, I think.
Yeah.
And they played each other, had some COVID tests come back this week, and then so they're looking at moving those games. Now, I did hear the initial report was saying something like there was kind of rumors that they might look at changing the bye weeks and stuff, right. But then I was listening yesterday, and they were saying that the NFL is a next man up league, right. And so their stance it hadn't been put to the test yet. This is kind of the first test, but their stance has been, we're going to play no matter what. If we have enough players to play the game, we're going to play regardless of who's available. This is where depth comes in. They create more spots for practice teams and all that stuff. So it'll be interesting to see. The rubber's hitting the road now, and we'll see how the NFL actually responds. But
exactly. But that's the thing, is just pay attention to your players. We don't know what's going to happen. As it stands, the game is going to be played on Sunday, possibly Monday. So just be paying attention. If they do play the game, maybe your player is one of the ones out with COVID. So make sure to use those roster spots.
In another league, I've got Derrick Henry, and I was trying to keep that in mind, hitting the waiver. I dropped old Tannehill this week, and I'm jumping on the Burrow train. Let's see what happens. Let's see where it can take me.
If we're going to talk about Joe Burrow for a couple of seconds, I will say he looks great for a rookie quarterback. He's making rookie mistakes, but that's to be expected. I think he's going to be a great player for a long time. So looking forward to seeing how he matures.
I really am excited. I'm excited to see him through the years. I think he's going to be great. People like to give me a hard time about Baker. I always said I didn't think Baker would make it in the NFL. Now I'd love to see him do great, but I just didn't see him as a big time NFL quarterback. I was actually pretty hesitant about Kyler Murray. He's super accurate, but anyway, he's turning out pretty good right now. But I think Burrow can be great. He's not going to be Mahomes level great, dude. Watching the Monday night game.
I'll tell you, I'll be honest. Mahomes was my biggest missed call. I watched that dude play at Tech a lot, and I was like, "There's no way that's going to transition to the NFL. Yeah. No way." And he got in there and just made me look like a fool. This guy's incredible. I love watching him play. I like Lamar too, and I was really excited about the Monday night game. What I walked away with is Lamar is the better athlete. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mahomes is the better quarterback.
Yeah. Andrew and I, and we went with a couple of friends to the game at Tech, the OU Tech game that broke all the records. Mahomes and Mayfield going at each other. Like each team scored like 60-something points. I think there was only one stop in the second half. Everything else was touchdowns, and it was crazy. And I left that game and I was like, I'm not that impressed with Mahomes. I was like, he was throwing the ball short. He didn't look that accurate. Andrew was like, he threw the ball like 300 times. Like, cut him some slack. He is better than Mayfield. I was like, whatever. Dude, Mahomes, I told Jenna, I was telling Jenna about him, and she's like, who is Patrick Mahomes? I was like, he's probably going to be the best quarterback that's ever played the game. Like,
Possibly.
watching him Monday night, he just I, I'm excited to see him for many, many years to come.
Yep. Yep.
So
Lamar Jackson too, for what it's worth. I
yeah,
think he's great. But like I said, he doesn't have the quarterback talent that Mahomes does. But it was a fun game to watch. It didn't turn out quite the way we all expected, I don't think. But man, Kansas City was running some stuff. It was fun. It was a fun
dude,
game.
it's a good time to like Kansas City. I would not call myself a fan because I'm not fanatical about Kansas City, but I was born there, so they've always had a special place in my heart, and they've always been awful. But man, it's a good time to like Kansas City. So
Absolutely.
it's gonna be fun to watch. Let's jump into speaking of this week. Let's jump into this week's matchups.
Yeah,
Um, we did have some surprises this week. I felt like,
we did. I think so.
um, and so we can start with me and the Puerto Rican Papi, good old Obed. I
Um,
won. Sorry, Obed.
I,
I mean, Lamar didn't have a good game. That hurt.
I've
Um,
been listening to a few different podcasts and stuff on TV, and they've been talking about who would you draft number one if you were drafting today. And I
mhm.
think the consensus is Alvin Kamara. Like, I mean, especially a PPR league, man, this guy's just blowing up. That one run that he had where he made like six people miss,
You just
it
like
was one
bounce
of the
off of
most
guys.
yeah, it was the most ridiculous, incredible thing I've seen in football in a long time. The
Oh,
way he would stop and then speed up super fast and then slow down and then speed up again. It was a thing of beauty. I've never seen anything like it. This guy's amazing. So
yeah,
yeah.
it reminded me of watching different college players like DeMarco Murray and some of these guys, CD Lamb. Uh, I mean, obviously, I actually don't watch that much college football. It's really just OU, but watching some of the college players when they're in their last year in the league, and you can tell that they're already playing at an NFL level, and everyone else is playing at a college level.
Right.
That's what that play reminded me of. It was just like he was just different. He was just in a
Yeah.
different league.
He is just incredible. It's so fun to watch. And so when your running back puts up 44.7 points, it's hard for anybody to beat that. But
Yeah,
you had some other great players on your team. Keenan Allen did great. Yeah,
Herbert, come on,
Justin
Herbert.
Herbert. Yeah, the Chargers are talking some crazy noise about having Tyrod Taylor being their starting quarterback when he's healthy. I don't. That would be a dumb move. Justin Herbert looks great.
Yeah,
I don't think he looks as good as Joe Burrow if we're talking quarterbacks, rookie quarterbacks, but he looks good, and
yeah,
so I'd leave him in there.
yeah,
So yeah, good
yeah.
win. It was a good win for you.
It felt good, man. Kyle keeps coming up with the. We'll get to the awards later, but Kyle keeps coming up with the closest matchup, and
Yep,
lost a close one to Diego. Man, that's just hard. Josh Allen playing great,
he
looking really
is.
really good.
He is. I really like him.
Then we had Chris got his first win, so congrats, Chris. Come on, baby. Took down the 2-0 Rick Bergman. So that's awesome. Rick had it.
And
Rick
honestly,
he had
that
one of
was
those
one of the
weeks.
big surprises for me was Rick's low scoring game. Now I know he didn't play. I know Jones didn't play.
Yeah,
He one of those game time decisions, so that hurt him a little bit. But still, seeing Rick score under 100 points it was weird.
yeah, yeah. That was a shocker for me as well. But man, congrats, Chris. Man, Andrew still loses McCaffrey, loses Mostert, still put up 157 points, but not enough this week.
Yeah, Will's team. I mean, I said it. I said that he had a great team. He just needed those right guys to pop at the right time, and boy, did they ever! 173 points. That's a tough score to beat, and as well as Andrew did, which he usually does, no matter what, that's a hard point deficit to overcome. And so, good job, Will. That's a great looking team.
Yeah.
All solid scores on there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, really, really good. Man, Russell Wilson has been a surprise for me. I had Russell Wilson last year or the year before, and I was like, yeah, Russell's going to be great. He's going to be great. And he was just not. And they're letting Russ cook a little bit this year, so looking
it's
good.
been nice to see. He's awesome. He's such a great player. He's fun to watch every
Yeah,
time he plays. He's just so great to watch.
yeah. Then Justin kept his undefeated record, right?
Yep.
Sorry, bro.
No, it happens. Cam Newton didn't really score a whole lot of points.
Yeah.
John Brown, I've been trying to play matchups, and I just keep missing on my receivers.
Mhm.
John Brown had a couple of plays, and then he got hurt and
Yeah.
scored me 0 points. And so,
And Fuller got the touchdown. It's just hard.
yep. So,
And
what do
I
you
mean,
do?
Justin has a good team. His running backs are solid, and
Yeah,
then Diggs has looked really good. Marquise Brown actually didn't have a good game. Stephon Diggs had a good game. It wasn't like anything great, but um,
yeah, and I mean, usually Aaron Jones scores at least 20 points. He's usually got a floor of 20 points. So, that was even a low scoring game for him. So, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
he's got a good team. Justin's got a real good team.
yeah. And then man, then Make It Ertz, Mr. Luke Lytle, who we'll get to hear from a little bit later. Man, he had a great week. Wentz showed up. Mike Davis was a great pickup. Tyler Lockett, 3 touchdowns. I mean,
Yeah, that was just insane to watch Tyler Lockett just go off in the way he did. It was pretty neat. I will say that I did talk to Gary over the weekend, and he was a little insulted that you called this the pillow fight. And looks like Luke brought one of those big giant body pillows because he came in and he he threw down on this game. So good
he
job,
put
Luke.
some padlocks in it, man.
Yeah, Luke, I am surprised that you've still got faith in Carson Wentz. He put up some decent numbers this past week, but man, that guy looks terrible. And I'm not picking on Eagles people in the least bit. He really does not look like a good player. So I hope for your sake he gets better. I hope for my sake he gets better because I picked up Alshon Jeffrey off the waiver wires. But man, Carson Wentz looks terrible. So good luck, you Eagles fans, because man, he's not looking good.
Yeah, that's hard. That's hard.
And
Um,
I like Wentz. I want him to succeed. I really do. I think he's been a good player. I think he's a decent fellow, and I'd like for him to succeed, but he is not succeeding right now. So
yeah, yeah. It is weird to see Wentz not. I mean, I think he's better than what he's showing.
yeah.
But so current standings, Justin and I are at the top, undefeated there. Will and Diego and Rick in third, fourth, and fifth at 2-1. Then a whole mess of 1-2. And Andrew's obviously at the top of that. He has the second most. I think he's got the second most points scored. But
Points for.
yeah,
I believe that's right.
I'm pretty sure that's right. I'm not finding
Yeah,
out.
I mean, just looking at it without sorting it, you can see he's the only one over 400 besides you.
And no surprise, he also has the most points against. So you got the little poop emoji there. Most points against. I mean, he's got 100 more points scored against him than I do.
Yeah.
I mean, that helps. That helps for sure. I've got the most points for, but a bunch of 2-1s, and then Obed he's had a hard road, 0-3. Now, I mean, look at this though. All these guys under 300 points scored against, under 400 points scored against him. Looks like he's got the second most points scored against him. So
yeah.
that's just hard. I mean, that's just what it is. So I almost took the clip from the footballers yesterday when they're doing their PSA about, hey, if you're 0-3, if you're 1-2, stay with it, keep playing. You're not out. Every year they have guys that come in and go, hey, I was 0-4, I was 0-5, I came back, I won my league. stay in it. So Obed and everybody who's feeling like, playing for next year, don't give up. I was talking trades with Gary this week, and he was talking keepers. I was like, bro, are you already playing for next year? Like,
Yeah.
you're 1-2. You're tied for 6th place, which is a playoff spot.
Yeah. And I'm in second to last place, and I'll be honest, I'm frustrated, but looking at my team, I could have won several of those games. And so my team's putting up points, even my bench guys are putting up points. It's still possible. Like, I'm not giving up. I'm still going to keep playing. It's just sometimes the way fantasy football goes.
Yeah.
So, sometimes you get bad luck, sometimes you get good luck, and sometimes you just got a great team. And so you just never know what happens. But yeah, don't give up. Don't give up. Keep playing, keep making trades, keep that waiver wire going, and see what happens.
For sure. Yeah, let's run through the awards for this week. Let's see, they're up here. Here we go. All right. This. So we had man, there's so many awards. So best manager, good job, Will. Set the perfect lineup. That's what it took to beat Andrew. Perfect lineup. So good job. Worst manager was not you, Oscar. Congrats
to Rick. Good job on that. Thank you for taking that spot for me. I really appreciate it. Did not like winning that week after week. So thank you, Rick.
Yeah. So underperformed there. I had the biggest blowout against Obed. Narrow victory, like I said earlier. Kyle, 2 weeks in a row in the narrowest victory. This one, 14 points isn't less. Last week it was like less than a point. So that was pretty hard.
Yeah.
Will with the highest score. You had the lowest score. Sorry, bud.
No, it happens.
It does happen. Overachiever, Will. He's just getting all those top things. Will had a great week. Below expectation.
Yeah, my guys just underperformed. What do you do?
Yeah, that just happens. I was talking with Obed yesterday. I was like anything that has happened can happen in reverse.
Yeah,
and
that's
what I keep
right.
trying to remember. It feels good when your team's scoring a lot of points, but anybody can have a flop week. And so Mahomes 40 points. Kamara had 44.7. Had a great week. Lockett, we talked about. Kelsey was the biggest tight end of the week that was started. Tight ends were crazy this week.
Yeah, and like that's a low score for the way tight ends have been playing out. Usually there's a tight end that scores at least 20 points a week. And so, it's really weird.
And I think there were tight ends that did better than Kelsey. Just nobody played them because you wouldn't play them.
Exactly.
Like Mercedes Lewis or whatever his name. These guys, tight ends are crazy. Yeah, that's what Justin was giving me a hard time about Waller, and I'm like, he's a tight end. Like, this is what happens. So I'm not worried about it. Crosby, kicker, who cares? Colts had a great week. Started off with a pick six. They had 2 pick sixes, I think. And that felt good for you, right?
Oh yeah, it was great. For y'all that don't know, I'm a diehard Indianapolis Colts fan. Our offense doesn't look as great as I would like them with Phillip Rivers, but our defense is looking great. They weren't looking so great the first week, but they've brought it back, and so I'm excited about what we do this season.
Yeah. How excited are you about Jonathan Taylor?
Man, kid's got a future. So he's still a rookie. The game script, the way we've been ahead the last couple of weeks hasn't really necessitated him being a big time player, but I think he's going to be great. I'm really excited to see what happens with him. Really excited.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
We don't have the offense that the Chiefs have, where Clyde Edwards-Helaire looks like he could be this just complete fantasy stud. But we've got a solid offensive line, and so I'm excited to see what Jonathan Taylor does.
We may talk about Clyde Edwards a little bit later.
I think we will.
Jared Goff, bench warmer of the week. Jeff Wilson, of course, because you wouldn't play Jeff Wilson. Al Lazard was the number one with Adams out. I mean, that was good to get that clarity. I've got MBS in a couple of leagues, and he was not worth having.
No.
Hawkinson, I mean, who cares? So I don't know if you saw this. I sat my defense going into Monday night, and I told Obed what I was doing because I was sitting there. I had my defense still to play. I was up on Obed by 80 points, but he had Lamar Jackson and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. And in my head, I was thinking it was Mahomes, but still, I still think it held true. I was like, I said, basically, if your guys score 80 points, which they can, those two guys combined could score 80 points. I was like, if they score 80 points, then that means my defense is scoring negative. And so I just sat him. I was like, if his guys are scoring a lot, my defense is not, and they're probably going to hurt me. And so I was just like, I'm going to sit them, and if I lose, man, I lose. But
I did not know that. Wow, that's interesting. Must be nice to be able to see defense.
I looked at it, and I looked at the defenses that had played Kansas City, and they were at like 1 point and -2 points, I think, were their stat lines. So, but the Ravens they've been great. They have a great matchup this week, so I didn't really want to drop them. I thought I could win without them, and turned out it worked out. So awesome. Now, okay, we're gonna move on to trades and stuff, but I gotta bring this up. You talked about this Russell Wilson. You posted this in the chat. That's nuts.
That is nuts. And like I said, like Carson Wentz hasn't been playing good, and that's an embarrassing stat for Carson Wentz. But at the same time, that's just an incredible stat for Russell Wilson. Yeah. He is playing lights out. Like, Russell Wilson's always good, but just the way he's starting off this season, like if he stays on this pace, I think I heard in a couple of places yesterday, he's on pace to have 75 passing touchdowns. That's his pace right now. Obviously, he won't hit that, but that's the pace he's playing at, which is insane. So, yeah, Russell Wilson is just playing incredible football right now.
Well, and he's so efficient. It's a weird combination. They are letting him throw the ball more, but he doesn't throw the ball 50 times like a Pat Mahomes or somebody like that. I mean, I was looking at it. He's throwing the ball like 25 times.
Yeah.
I mean, it's in the 20s, maybe the 30s. And it's just so efficient. And I don't know. I mean, now that's how he's been the past few years. He's been so efficient, but the volume hasn't been there. So just it made it hard. He's not running a lot, but
yeah. And then his touchdown efficiency is like 14% or some change, whereas the average is about 5.5.
Yeah.
Like, even 8% is high, and he's at 14 point something. It's just insane what this guy is doing with the ball. So, and then he's got some great receivers running down the field. He's got Tyler Lockett, who's playing lights out, DK Metcalf, who would have got an extra touchdown if he wasn't dumb and tried to celebrate before he scored.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I was pulling for the boys in that one. It was fun to see, and then didn't end up pulling it. But yeah, man, that's been crazy. So I was trying to trade for DK Metcalf this week, who I've never been a real big Metcalf believer, but man, looking pretty strong. Didn't get that one pulled off, but I did get a trade pulled off.
You did get a trade pulled off. Good job.
I did.
You've been really trying to make trades, I will say.
Dude, I have been. You and I have been talking a lot.
We have.
So me and Obed got a trade. AJ Brown and Clyde Edwards-Helaire coming to me. I'm sending him Mari Cooper, James Conner, and Antonio Gibson. So I have not asked you. I wanted to wait until this moment. What do you think?
I think it's a fantastic trade. There were needs at running back for Obed. He gets 2 running backs and a great receiver out of it. Yeah. You get the upside. You didn't really need Connor or Gibson, but you get the upside of this incredible rookie running back on a powerhouse, fantasy-friendly team.
Yeah.
And so I think that might be the best trade that's happened this year.
Yeah.
It definitely benefits both teams.
Yeah.
And so I love it. I think it's a fantastic trade. Great job pulling that off between you and Obed. Yeah, that is a fantastic trade.
Thanks, man.
All upside.
Yeah.
All upside.
It was funny. After we made the trade, I was looking at, I had somebody come and say, what do you want for Clyde? And I was like, well, okay, let's look at it. I'm not sure
I feel like I know who that person was.
I'm not sure that it wasn't Andrew.
No, I know.
Okay. I don't think they're going to be willing to give up what it would take to get him.
Yeah.
But I was looking at like Kareem Hunt, and I was looking at Connor, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Kareem Hunt. And I got on, I was looking at their consistency, how they've finished relative to other running backs the past couple weeks, their points per game, all that. And those three are right there together.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's Kareem Hunt is the highest, Clyde Edwards, and then James Conner. In like all of the categories, they're right there together. And I was like, huh. So I gave up a lot to get a guy that's one spot above James Conner, but it's the risk. It's, and it's the upside. I don't think we've seen the ceiling of Clyde yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about with that. With that trade, you get the upside of a rookie running back who obviously has the talent, but like I said, he's on a team that is just so fantasy friendly, and so you get the upside. Obed gets immediate help to his decimated backfield.
Yeah.
And so, it's a great trade for everybody. Plus, he gets Amari Cooper, and you get the possibility of AJ Brown.
Dude,
when he gets healthy.
Yeah, when he gets healthy, we had looked at trading earlier in the week or in the weekend, and the thing that scares me about AJ Brown is it could be 2 months before he's back. I was doing a little research on it, and it's not looking real great. When he comes back, he could be great. So I was like, well, I'm willing to take the shot. I have 3 injured wide receivers on my team right now, but all of them are, should be top 24, possible top 10s, probably more likely to be top 15s, and so we just gotta get them all back. But yeah, and guys, you guys make some trades, and we'd love to talk about those, break those down, make fun of you if you make some mistakes, or congratulate you for making some great moves. But keep trading. It was interesting to see Andrew immediately put on, hey, come get Kenyon Drake, come get him.
Yeah, I got my thoughts about that. Andrew wants a high pick, or what did he say? How did he word it?
A strong wide receiver.
A strong wide receiver, because Kenyon Drake is a first-year keeper for $2. He's also the 28th ranked running back in PPR. So he hasn't been doing much. So
yeah. Hopes were really high. My hopes for Kenyon Drake. I really wanted Drake.
You mentioned it several times, yeah.
Yeah. I wanted him a lot more than Connor. I mean, I really saw him as like a top 7 or 8 running back. It has not been realized yet. But we'll see. I mean, that's the whole thing. I was thinking about like our trade last year. I tried to trade high on Michael Thomas and low, get Juju Smith-Schuster low. And what ended up happening was I traded away the best wide receiver last year for a guy that was injured and did nothing. And I mean, trades are that. It can anything can happen. That's why I like when things sometimes look uneven, I'm not about vetoing that unless it's like clearly cheating.
Right.
If somebody's tanking their team, like things can look uneven, and yet they end up completely opposite of what everybody thought. So Anyway, man, keep trading, guys. I know there's a lot of trade talks going on. I will say I like trading with Obed because Obed is willing to trade.
Yeah.
Um, we all have our moments. I've had those moments recently where I'm just like, I'm just not sure that I'm actually willing to take this risk. But you got to be willing
Yeah.
to make a trade. So you got to be willing
And
to
to
pull
be
the trigger
honest,
and let somebody else's team get better so that you can make your team better.
yeah, and to be honest, for a little bit of transparency, you were trying to trade me, and I slept on it, and I just wasn't feeling comfortable in the trade. Like it wasn't something that I wanted to do. I wasn't actively trying to trade, and man, if I would have made that trade, I would have won easily before
That's fair.
Sunday.
Yeah.
But like I said, I just wasn't feeling it in my gut, and
Yep.
that's the game. And so I'm not done. I'm not saying I'm unwilling to trade, but I've got to feel it too. I've got to, so.
Yeah.
But don't be scared to trade. Don't be scared to trade.
Nah.
Um, if you're not feeling it, then don't do the trade. But don't be scared to trade. I was willing to trade. I
Yeah.
just, like I said, when it came down to it, I just wasn't feeling it. So
Yeah. And yeah, it was one of those trades should make you nervous.
yeah, absolutely,
A good fair trade should make you nervous.
absolutely,
Um,
it should.
so, man, we're gonna so each week we're gonna try to highlight a different team owner and manager. I think manager is the word that people are using now. Um,
Sure.
uh, uh, so want you to just kind of get to know people, get to see their face. And so this week I was able to sit down with Luke Lytle, and he's driving and stuff, but luckily he didn't die. And so you guys check this out from Luke. Hey guys, I'm here with Luke Lytle, and he is driving. And so if he, veers off the road and dies in a fiery death, we'll all be there to witness it. It'll be great, but that won't happen, right?
No, but if it does, just make sure Andrew doesn't get first pick at anybody on my roster. That's going in my will. So
You get no one from your team. That's awesome. So okay, Luke. So where do you live, man?
we live in Portage, Michigan. It's famously known for being, it's basically the Portage and Kalamazoo are the Odessa and Midland. So we're
Okay.
right by Kalamazoo, Michigan, which is, Western Michigan University, where Corey Davis played.
Okay.
So, the whole row the boat thing. I don't know if that news ever made it there when Western was pretty big a few years ago. And then I think their coach went to Minnesota, and he turned that program around.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, what you do for fun, that kind of thing.
Well, married to Michelle, which some of you know. I'd probably say 3 or 4 if you do. And we have 3 kids: Addison, Brock, and Cambria, Cammy. And yeah, I work for Motors and Drives, which is what I'm doing right now. And I start up what we were talking about earlier, variable frequency drive. So it's a lot of fun. Get to, go out and play with high voltage and some weird applications like, irrigation for farms. That was a lot of fun. That was a good, fun project of mine.
Okay.
So, yeah. And for fun, basically just football, though it hasn't been that much fun lately, both fantasy and I'm a big Eagles fan, if anybody hasn't realized. So it's been a little depressing, actually, the past few weeks. Waiting for something to come back for so long, and then it's just horrible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not used to this feeling. It's been a while.
Yeah, I mean, you weren't here when they won the Super Bowl, right? You had already moved.
No, I wish I was, but no. We Wisconsin. So we moved, and that year after we moved, that's when they won the Super Bowl.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so Luke did a little stint in Midland, Odessa, and was our tech arts director for Mid Cities, and did a great job doing that. And then, but all your family's up north, so right, and so kind of
Yeah,
like up there.
Yeah, everybody's up here. So now everybody's within an hour radius, and like cousins and grandparents and stuff. So it makes it nice. It's just a lot colder.
Yeah, a lot colder. So now you've been
it's basically.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say it's basically Canada. Like I can be in Canada in like 3 hours. So
that's crazy.
It's yeah.
We're on opposite ends of the country for sure. You can be in a couple hours, I can be in Mexico in a couple hours. That's crazy. So now you've been in the league for probably 4 or 5 years, right?
I think 4 because 4. This would be my 4th. Yep.
Yeah, and you've had some close battles, had some good seasons.
My worst game I think it was like year 2 or year 3 of the it was year 3 of the championship. We won the Super Bowl, so it was okay, but I think Andrew beat me by like 0.2, and it was because Foles had an interception, and that was it. So that was like the worst game that I think I've had, just as far as like being so close. But I've also had some of the other ends to where it was like I needed 20 points and Sleeper was like, you have 1% chance of winning. Mm-hmm. And I think that was the only time I've ever seen that, and that was against you last year.
Yeah. that is definitely my worst beat. Like when people say, what was your worst beat? That is it. I went to bed, man. I was feeling good. It was a Sunday night or Monday night game, and I'm first round of the playoffs last season, and I was killing you, and this is great, easy, and then stinking Ertz and Wentz and overtime. Oh.
Because it was Ertz's touchdown that put him into overtime, and then Ertz got the touchdown in overtime. Like that was the only like mathematical way I could win and it had to be a pass, because if it would have just been a handoff, it would have been, game over.
Yeah, it was ridiculous and heartbreaking, and I didn't even realize what was going on, and my phone started blowing up. And you were like, Perky, I can't believe, like you were so like almost apologetic about it, and I was like, what happened? And I went and I went, are you kidding me? Oh, dude, that was the worst.
It was. It's but I mean, those type of plays are long gone right now for my team. So, those are just the good old days.
Yeah. Well, man, what would you say to the other team managers? You got a message for them?
No, I mean, I'm gonna get going on a winning streak once I figure out who's doing what, because I feel like each week, and I don't know if it's just with COVID and this is what I thought of, but like it seems each head coach is just deciding, hey, I'm going to put this person in it for this game, and then next week change it up. Like last night was Gaskin. He took the majority of the handoffs from a back that should have been in, like that was a committee back, and now it just seems that there's a lead. So I think with no preseason games, we're going to see the whole field of everything change, and especially with all these injuries. So I've got enough in the reserves where there's some guys that, and they're barely skating by, that if they have to go by their bench, that's going to be pretty bad. So, I wouldn't sleep on this team, but there's some very good teams out there. I think Andrew, and I think, again, unfortunately, Andrew will be the team to beat.
Yeah. Always a good team. Man,
Yeah.
I appreciate your time and good luck. And we'll see. We're recording this before Sunday of week 3 games, and so we'll see how this weekend goes.
Hopefully better than last weekend, but I don't know. Lamb's getting into a spot. As long as Lamb becomes like an MVP, and I think I like outbid Andrew for like $1 on him, so that'll be a nice keeper for a few years if that happens. And
Yeah, man.
it'll be a good
That'll be
week.
great. Yeah, man, it was so funny how Luke going into the weekend was like, "Don't sleep on my team. They're going to be great." And then he has a great weekend.
Yeah, like I said, you called it a pillow fight, and he brought the big body pillow and just laid the hammer down on Gary. So, yeah, Luke called it. He said, "Don't sleep on his team," and some of us slept on him. But Luke's always got a consistently good team. He pays attention. He knows football. He starts a lot of Eagles, and he still does great. He's always got a great team, and so I've really enjoyed having Luke in this league. I mean, he's been in it since I've been in it, but he's always a consistent player, always making moves, and he's fun. He's a fun fantasy football player.
Yeah,
He doesn't quit.
Luke, every time I talk to Luke, I go, "Man, why didn't we hang out when you lived here?" Like I just like Luke. He's a fun guy, and he's everybody's favorite second place manager.
That's him.
Luke has lost to Andrew twice, I think, in the championship. So he definitely has a rivalry with Andrew. I mean, everyone kind of does, but Luke probably more than the rest of us.
Yeah.
So, we're going to hear from Justin next week. Justin Morath, get to see him, and we'll keep doing that through the weeks, and you guys will get to just kind of know each other a little bit more. Let's look at this week's matchups, and then we will get out of here.
We didn't talk waiver wire pickups. Do we want to talk that right quick?
We do. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. We missed waiver wire. Let's talk through that. There's the trade. This was so funny. Congrats to the Mahomeses though, or the future Mahomeses. Mahomes seems like a good dude.
He really does. So, yeah, I really like him. I'm not a Kansas City fan. I wouldn't call myself that, but I love Patrick Mahomes.
He love watching him Jesus, play. But seems like a good dude.
Yeah.
All right. So waiver wire pickups, $36 for Rex Burkhead, the big pickup. A $0 bid and $36.
Could have got him for $1, Obed. That's tough.
I think you got him. We'll see. I mean, he had a great week. We'll see if he does anything else.
Yeah. Good luck with that Patriots backfield, Obed. I hope it works out for you, but man, I try to stay as far away from that backfield as I can.
Yeah, and if James White is back, he's just dealing with some family issues. So, dude, congrats on Justin Jefferson.
Man, I went for it. To be honest, I was going to bed last night. I've talked about this, not being able to sleep because you don't know if you bid enough. And so I went to bed. I bid $31. Okay. And I was like, oh, man, I don't know if that's enough. I'm going to do 36. And so, man, I would have won with 31, but I'm fine with 36. That extra $5 is a nice cushion.
I mean, people put in a lot of money for him. I mean, I've got a decent amount of wide receivers, but I still am interested. He could be this the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And so I think it's a great pickup. I actually almost put in $30 on him. So I think that was great, man. T Higgins is looking strong. You were in the talk for him too. I put in a little bit for him. Obed ended up with him for 17. That's great.
Yeah, so I've been watching the Bengals games because of AJ Green, and T Higgins just looks like the player to get. Yeah. John Ross was a healthy scratch, meaning they wanted to get T Higgins the ball. So when you have a healthy scratch of John Ross, that means you've got some expectations for your rookie. So yeah.
Now, I mean, 5 for 40 is not a great stat line. Yeah, and the 2 touchdowns, that helps a whole lot. So we'll see, man. I mean, if he gets in the end zone, it's great. Jimmy Grandpa.
It's the best.
$10 picked him up.
Chicago's targeting him, and then now with Nick Foles at quarterback, that could be a good pickup. We'll see. We'll see how that works out for Mr. Gary.
Yeah. Carlos Hyde. He's more of a 1 weeker, but man, when you're piecing it together week by week, good. It's a good pickup, Chris.
It is.
I picked up Burrow. I couldn't decide if I was like, I don't think anybody's gonna go after him, but I didn't want to miss him, so $4.
$4 isn't bad.
Yeah, we'll see. Randall Cobb. I just remember when he went for 30 last year after he had a good week 1 and then was back on the waiver wire. So Justin's out on Corey Davis. Brian Hill had a good week. Got a touchdown or 2. Chris got him, beat you out just by a couple bucks. Got some defenses. Damian Harris. Good luck with that, Andrew.
Good luck.
He's just coming back from injury. So
yeah, he was on IR, which he may still be on IR.
Yeah. So I mean, it's fine. Good stash,
This is the 3rd time I've gotten Zach Pascal. 3rd time, just so you know. I'm gonna keep trying. We'll see.
Well, I mean, there's not a lot of hope for MVS, so you might as well.
Michael Pittman got hurt, so we're running out of receivers in Indianapolis. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, Scott Miller, man, we'll see what happens with him. The opportunity is there for sure.
Yeah.
And with Godwin, looks like Godwin's gonna be out again this week, and dude, that's concerning. That is concerning. Hamstring issue for Godwin.
And Godwin's he's such a great player, and you hate to see that happen to somebody that. I mean, you hate to see it happen to anybody, but man, that's tough.
Thank you, Kyle, for trading for him, though. Appreciate that.
That's right.
And then you picked up another defense. So a couple of bids on the Broncos.
Yeah, $0 bid.
You beat Andrew. Come on.
That's what matters.
Take that win. That win. Cool. Okay, and then this week's matchups. Here we go. Oh, that's my matchup. Week 4. I'm taking on everybody's favorite 2nd place. Me and Luke. I'm pretty hopeful. We'll see what happens. We'll see also what happens to my points when all those when my trade goes through.
That's right.
I think I already kind of adjusted that. Got Burrow in there. Come on, baby. I pulled out. Pulled out Cooper there, but we'll see. Kyle and Andrew, I feel like that should be a water bet.
It should be a water bet. You guys let us know. Hopefully you guys listen to this podcast and you let us know if y'all are going to have a water bet, because it should be a water bet. Yeah, and Kyle doesn't even have a defense in there. Once he gets a defense in there, it's going to be a little bit closer.
Yeah, for sure. That'll be great. Chris and Obed, this will be an interesting matchup. I know Chris got his first win this week, and Obed's still looking for his. But he's got a couple empty spots that are going to be filled in. Yeah. So sorry, Chris. Obed's getting some pretty good players that are going to help out.
He sure is. He's going to get some points on there. So that should be an interesting game.
Yeah, that'll be fun to see. 3-0 versus 2-1. This should be a good matchup. I think this is, out of what we've seen so far, this is the one I'm most excited about. Rick and Justin.
For me.
I think this is going to be a great matchup. Eager to see. I mean, right now just projections are real tight. That's going to be fun to see.
Yeah. I'm excited about that matchup. I think it could be that's one that could go either way. Obviously, any matchup could go either way, but man, it'd be hard to pick a winner in that one.
Yeah,
good teams.
Well, and you've got Green Bay and Atlanta playing Monday night, and both these guys have some big players in that game. So that'll be fun to kind of down to the last minute there. That's gonna be fun. Gary and Diego, I mean, right now projected pretty close. So we'll see. Come on, Gary. You're still in it, baby. You're still in it. I mean, he didn't have a kicker, but that's okay. You're still in it.
Oh yeah, he got rid of Young Ho.
Yes, he dropped that Young Ho.
He sure did.
Didn't think twice about it. It's messed up. And then your matchup. This looks promising, man.
Honestly, I'm scared of Will's team. Like I've said it since the beginning, Will's got a great team. He's capable of putting up a lot of points. So I just hope you guys put up more than his.
How you feeling about Mark Ingram?
Not well. That's a mess of a backfield. It's almost as messy as the Patriots backfield.
Yeah.
Or the Buccaneers backfield.
I saw something that, I mean, you don't want J.K. Dobbins, but I think he has more fantasy points than Mark Ingram does.
And I think it's barely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about it. We're in the same boat. I've got Ingram in another league, and I'm just done.
What do you do?
Yeah. But if you can't get anybody better,
Exactly.
I did see him catch a pass this weekend.
That's always great.
A pass.
I saw him almost catch a pass and then get leveled for it.
Yeah, it's rough. Well, we're heading into week 4, and guys, just keep it up. It's been a good season so far. It's been fun to see some of you guys. I hate the injuries and all that, but it's been fun to see some of you guys going hard after some players to make up for those injuries. And man, keep playing it, keep playing the waiver wire, keep trading, find a win-win. That's people are going to trade to make their team better. And so you got to keep that in mind. And if you want to trade with somebody, make sure that you're making it good for them too. See what they need. And amazing things can happen. I honestly, I was like, I'm just going to throw it out there. Clyde Edwards didn't have a great week. Obed needs some players. I'm just going to see what happens. And it started a conversation. We did not end up where we started. But where we ended up, we found a trade. And actually this week I will get, I'll put everybody's phone numbers in the chat and I'll pin it. Because that's really helpful when you can text people and actually talk with them. You can chat directly through Sleeper, but a text is just a lot easier. So I will get that in there this week for you guys. So I apologize I haven't done that already. But you got anything for the guys?
No. Main thing, keep playing, keep watching the waiver wire, keep watching injuries, and keep up with those COVID players this week. Make sure you put your players on COVID if you've got one of those 4 teams that may be affected by it. So just be paying attention. Don't forget.
And it will actually say COVID on it. Where it says IR or out, it will actually say COVID. Because I had a player at the beginning of the season that was a COVID designation. So it'll actually say that.
Awesome.
And hey, if you guys will be in prayer for us, we're going pretty hard into IVF stuff, and we got some appointments this next week, this weekend, and early next week. And man, here in a month or so, might be having a little baby. So
let's get a baby.
So excited about that thing. I appreciate y'all's prayers for that, and have a good week, guys.
Have a great week. Good luck, except Will.
That's right.